Life is a constant series of challenges and conflicts that we cannot avoid. But how we choose to face them, how we respond to these inevitable struggles, is what truly defines us. Great Stoic thinkers, such as Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, mastered the art of remaining composed in the face of adversity. Their wisdom teaches us that true strength does not come from external power or force, but from the ability to maintain control over our minds and actions when confronted with hardship. In this video, we will explore 10 powerful ways Stoicism can help you defeat your enemies without ever fighting them. Prepare to embrace these profound principles that will guide you in overcoming any challenge with calm resolve and transform you into someone who is unstoppable. 1. Investigate the depths of your adversary. Conflict is inevitable, but have you ever stopped to think about why someone might oppose you? Imagine standing on a battlefield, not of weapons, but of wills. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause and consider the deeper forces that drive your adversary's actions. In Stoic philosophy, mastering conflict begins with mastering yourself. True power lies not in striking back, but in understanding your opponent's fears, desires, and insecurities, allowing you to outmaneuver them without direct confrontation. The world around us is full of competition, whether in the workplace, in social circles, or within our own families. People are conditioned to think in terms of winning or defeating others. Yet Stoicism teaches us that real strength comes from psychological insight, not brute force. To defeat an enemy without fighting, you must see beneath the surface. What motivates them? What wounds fuel their hostility? Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Roman emperor, faced countless enemies. But instead of resorting to violence, he advised observing calmly and understanding the forces at play. His words, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy," remind us that clarity triumphs over chaos. By remaining calm when others are consumed by anger, you rise above. Consider a modern scenario. A colleague undermines you, spreading rumors or manipulating situations. Your first instinct may be to retaliate, but the Stoic way suggests otherwise. Pause, reflect, and ask yourself, what drives their behavior? It could be insecurity or fear. By understanding their mindset, you gain control. Rather than reacting emotionally, you can outsmart them and succeed without conflict. This approach is not passive. It's about strength through understanding. Just as a general surveys the battlefield before battle, you must survey your opponent's mind. Knowledge becomes your weapon, keeping you composed while others flail. As Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." True bravery lies in the courage to observe, understand, and act with precision. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us that real victory is not about defeating your enemy, but about mastering yourself. By understanding your opponent's motivations, you free yourself from anger and gain clarity. With that clarity comes control, not just over the situation, but over yourself. This is the ultimate victory. 2. Choose your battles wisely. In the cacophony of daily life, where opinions and conflicts intertwine endlessly, it becomes crucial to discern which battles are worth your time and energy. The Stoic principle of choosing your battles wisely isn't just about avoiding unnecessary conflicts. It's about engaging in those that truly matter, ensuring that each confrontation adds meaningful value to your life. In today's world, we're bombarded with opportunities to engage in disputes, whether it's on social media, in the workplace, or even within our own families. It's easy to feel compelled to jump into every argument, to defend every position, but Stoicism teaches us the art of strategic disengagement. This philosophy encourages a selective approach to conflict, emphasizing that not all battles are worth our time and energy. Consider a typical workplace conflict, perhaps a disagreement over the direction of a project. While it may be tempting to stand firm on every detail, Stoicism would urge us to assess the stakes involved. Is this disagreement critical to the project's success, or is it just a matter of personal ego? By choosing to engage only in conflicts that truly impact the outcome, you conserve your energy for decisions that matter, promoting efficiency and reducing stress. Similarly, in the realm of social media, we encounter a barrage of differing opinions and heated debates. Engaging in every one of these conversations can be draining and often fruitless. Stoicism teaches us to step back and evaluate the importance of these debates in the context of our larger life. Does correcting a stranger's opinion online contribute to your well-being or goals? If not, it's a battle that's not worth fighting. Stoicism, deeply rooted in rational thought and emotional control, provides a strong framework for managing life's inevitable conflicts. By applying this Stoic filter, we not only make more strategic choices about where to invest our energies, but also preserve our inner peace and focus on our long-term goals. Choosing your battles wisely isn't about passive avoidance. It's about actively engaging in matters that align with your values and have a tangible impact on your life. This discernment leads to a more purposeful and tranquil existence, two hallmarks of the Stoic way of life. By embracing Stoicism, you gain the freedom not only from unnecessary conflicts, but also the freedom to pursue what truly matters, paving the way for a life of purpose and peace. 3. Speak with calm and clarity. In Stoic philosophy, one of the most powerful ways to confront adversity without engaging in direct conflict is to speak with calmness and clarity. This principle is not about controlling others, but controlling yourself. The Stoics believe that while we cannot control external circumstances, we can always control how we respond to them. When faced with conflict, maintaining a calm demeanor not only preserves your sense of self-control, but also diminishes the power of your adversary, preventing them from destabilizing you. True strength lies in restraint, the ability to remain composed even when the world around you is in chaos. A classic example of this can be found in the life of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. Throughout his reign, he faced opposition both on the battlefield and within his own court. Yet his writings and meditations reveal how he maintained inner peace by responding thoughtfully rather than reacting emotionally. Marcus Aurelius understood that by staying calm and speaking clearly, he could navigate even the most volatile situations while remaining true to his values. Rather than allowing anger or frustration to cloud his judgment, he sought to align his words with reason, not emotion. In today's world, we often find ourselves in situations where calm communication could prevent unnecessary escalation. Imagine a heated argument at work where a colleague aggressively challenges your viewpoint. Instead of reacting emotionally, you could pause, take a deep breath, and respond with clarity and thoughtfulness. A simple response such as, "I understand your perspective and appreciate your passion for this issue. Let's work together to find a solution," can diffuse tension and demonstrate leadership, emotional intelligence, and an ability to manage conflict effectively. By consistently practicing calm and clear communication, we strengthen our self-discipline and earn the respect of those around us. This approach can transform adversaries into allies, as they can no longer manipulate or provoke us into emotional reactions. Additionally, speaking clearly ensures that your message is heard and understood, allowing your ideas to stand on their own merits without distortion. In Stoicism, the focus is always on what we can control. As Epictetus, another prominent Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In this sense, speaking with calmness and clarity is not just a communication technique, it is a demonstration of inner strength and self-mastery. The next time you encounter conflict, remember that your words reflect your inner state. Choose them wisely with calm and clarity, and you will witness the powerful impact this Stoic approach can have in dismantling conflict without ever needing to fight. 4. Seek the shared path. Conflict often feels like an endless struggle, but there is a more intelligent way to navigate it. Sometimes the most effective strategy isn't to fight, but to find common ground. Stoicism teaches us that recognizing shared interests and goals can prevent conflicts from escalating. Seeking the shared path turns adversaries into allies, enabling us to achieve more through collaboration than confrontation. Much of what we perceive as conflict comes from misunderstanding, not genuine opposition. Whether at work, in relationships, or on a global scale, many disputes arise from an overemphasis on differences rather than the commonalities we all share. The Stoics, who valued reason and logic, understood the importance of acknowledging shared goals in resolving disputes. Marcus Aurelius, for example, faced significant opposition during his reign, but instead of reacting with force, he sought to understand the intentions of those against him. He realized that many of his supposed enemies shared similar objectives, namely the prosperity and stability of Rome. By seeking common ground, Marcus avoided unnecessary conflict and fostered cooperation for the greater good. The Stoic principle, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters," reminds us to take a step back and view the bigger picture. In moments of disagreement, it's easy to become fixated on defending our position. But before escalating opposition, asking, "What can we both gain from this?" shifts the focus from adversarial thinking to cooperative problem-solving, leading to more productive resolutions. In modern business, this approach is especially valuable. Rival companies often seem locked in a battle for market dominance, but by seeking mutual benefits, competitors can collaborate, innovate, and serve their customers better together. This transformation from rivals to partners reduces friction and creates shared success. Applying Stoicism in such situations requires emotional control and logical thinking. Instead of reacting impulsively, Stoicism encourages us to reflect. Is this conflict meaningful, or is it a distraction from a larger goal? By practicing this mindset, we avoid unnecessary conflicts and focus on solutions that align with our values and contribute to long-term success. Choosing cooperation over confrontation leads to more harmonious outcomes. By shifting our perspective from opponents to collaborators, we transform challenges into opportunities for growth. In both personal and professional conflicts, the Stoic philosophy of finding common ground can lead to more peaceful resolutions. Rather than seeing opposition as a battle to win, Stoicism encourages us to view it as a chance to understand, collaborate, and ultimately succeed together. By focusing on shared goals and mutual respect, we achieve a greater victory, one that fosters cooperation and leads to personal and collective success. 5. Appeal to their inner values. Have you ever found yourself in a conflict where your immediate reaction is to strike back, yet you wonder if there might be a way to win without fighting at all? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, teaches us that true victory comes not from defeating others, but from mastering ourselves. By staying true to our inner values, we can neutralize our enemies without ever having to engage in battle. In today's world, conflict is everywhere, at work, in relationships, and online. The temptation to react is strong, but Stoicism offers a different path. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Roman emperor, famously said, "The best revenge is to be like none other." This means that the key to defeating your enemies is not to lower yourself to their level, but to maintain your integrity and composure, no matter how they treat you. When faced with slander, betrayal, or an attack on your character, it's easy to feel angry and retaliate. But instead of reacting impulsively, Stoicism encourages us to pause, reflect, and respond in a way that aligns with our values. By remaining calm and emotionally controlled, we regain power over the situation. The Stoic approach isn't about ignoring harm, it's about choosing how we respond, holding firm to our principles in the face of adversity. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, reminds us that we are not disturbed by events themselves, but by how we interpret them. For example, if someone spreads a rumor about you, it's easy to get caught up in defending your reputation. But Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions and reactions. By living by values like honesty and integrity, we deprive our adversaries of the power to affect us emotionally. We remain grounded, not swayed by external circumstances. Take the example of Cato the Younger, a Stoic in ancient Rome who, despite facing immense pressure, refused to betray his principles for political gain. While he didn't win in the conventional sense, his legacy as a man of unwavering integrity outlasted those who sought power through manipulation. His commitment to his values became his greatest weapon. By appealing to your inner values, you not only protect yourself from external harm, but also find peace and strength within yourself. Forgiveness is another essential aspect of Stoicism. It's about understanding the humanity in your adversary and recognizing that everyone, including you, is flawed. Through forgiveness, we free ourselves from the burden of resentment, choosing to rise above hostility. By choosing to act in accordance with our values rather than reacting to someone else's negative behavior, We break the cycle of anger and retribution, leading to greater emotional freedom and peace of mind. In Stoicism, the focus is always on self-mastery. Instead of wasting energy on revenge, we focus on living according to our highest principles. The next time you face a conflict, ask yourself, what do my values tell me to do in this moment? Align your actions with your core principles, and you will find that conflict loses its grip on you. You will not only emerge stronger, but you will also inspire others to do the same. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us that the true victory is not in defeating our enemies, but in mastering ourselves. By appealing to our inner values, we not only achieve a deeper sense of peace, but also render our enemies powerless, without ever needing to engage in a battle. This is the Stoic way to win, by being true to ourselves no matter what challenges or adversaries we face. 6. Empathy. Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal or the overwhelming urge to retaliate when someone wrongs you? Instead of seeking revenge, what if you could disarm your adversary without ever saying a word? This is the power of empathy, a core Stoic practice that not only elevates your character, but also resolves conflict more effectively than anger or force ever could. In a world that often glorifies confrontation and revenge, empathy stands out as a radical yet incredibly powerful tool. Stoicism teaches that true strength isn't found in how aggressively we fight back, but in how calmly and strategically we respond. Empathy isn't about surrendering or accepting mistreatment. It's about understanding the root of someone's actions, cutting through the noise to see what truly drives their behavior. By understanding your adversary, you gain control not only over the situation, but also over yourself. In today's world, we are often encouraged to respond quickly and aggressively to any challenge. Whether it's an argument online, a disagreement at work, or a conflict with family. However, these impulsive reactions only escalate the situation, adding unnecessary stress and drama. Stoicism suggests a better way. By practicing empathy, we can change the entire dynamic of any interaction. Instead of getting drawn into a cycle of anger and revenge, we remain clear-headed. We become the calm center of the storm, seeing the bigger picture while others get swept up in the moment. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of understanding others, rather than judging them harshly. In Meditations, he reminds us that the people we meet are fighting battles we cannot see. Empathy, then, is not about controlling others, but mastering your emotions and reactions. This is the essence of Stoic power, refusing to let others dictate how you feel or behave. Could it be that the hostility you face from your enemy is more about their internal struggles than it is about you? Could their actions be driven by fear, insecurity, or past experiences? How would your interactions change if you approach them with understanding rather than anger? Empathy opens the door to these questions, allowing you to diffuse hostility while maintaining your own dignity and peace. When faced with a difficult situation, challenge yourself to pause and observe instead of reacting impulsively. Seek to understand before demanding to be understood. Empathy doesn't mean accepting mistreatment. It means not allowing someone else's behavior to disrupt your inner peace. This quiet strength is central to Stoic practice, acting in alignment with your values instead of being swept up in the chaos of conflict. By choosing empathy, you break the cycle of anger and retaliation. You become unshakable, not by defeating your adversary, but by refusing to mirror their actions. So, when was the last time you chose empathy in a challenging situation? How did it change the outcome? Share your story, and let's inspire each other to choose understanding over conflict, embodying this transformative Stoic principle. 7. Embrace the art of compromise. In a world where success is often measured by victory and dominance, we can sometimes forget that real strength isn't found in overpowering others, but in mastering ourselves and our relationships. Stoicism teaches us that one of the most powerful tools for navigating conflict is not through confrontation, but through the art of compromise. Compromise is not about giving up or surrendering, but about understanding when to yield and when to stand firm in order to preserve harmony and foster mutual growth. When we face conflict, our natural tendency is often to fight for our own perspective, to prove that we are right, and to defend our position at all costs. However, Stoicism teaches us that this battle for dominance is not always the path to true resolution. Instead of focusing solely on winning, the Stoic approach encourages us to think strategically, to consider the bigger picture, and to recognize when letting go of a rigid stance can lead to a more constructive outcome. Compromise in Stoicism is about finding balance, where both parties can retain their dignity and achieve some form of shared success. It involves recognizing that not every conflict needs to end in a clear winner or loser, but that sometimes the most effective resolution is one where both sides can walk away with a sense of respect and accomplishment. This isn't about weakening your position, but about strengthening your ability to move forward in a way that benefits all involved. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic leader and philosopher, exemplified this principle in his leadership. Throughout his reign as emperor, he faced constant external threats and internal challenges. Yet instead of resorting to brute force in every situation, Marcus often sought peaceful solutions and diplomatic compromises. He recognized that, to maintain stability and ensure the flourishing of the empire, it was necessary to balance different interests and find common ground where possible. His approach was grounded in the Stoic belief that true power comes from inner strength and wisdom, not from the sheer exercise of force. In today's world, compromise is an essential skill in both personal and professional relationships. In the workplace, for example, a team may face differing opinions about how to move forward with a project. If each team member stubbornly clings to their own idea without considering the views of others, the group becomes fragmented and progress stalls. But if the team embraces the Stoic principle of compromise, willing to listen, to adjust, and to find middle ground, the collective effort can move forward with greater unity and effectiveness. Similarly, in personal relationships, compromise is often the key to resolving disagreements without escalating the conflict. Whether it's a disagreement with a partner, a family member, or a friend, the ability to meet halfway can transform a potential argument into an opportunity for deeper connection. This doesn't mean suppressing your values or needs, but recognizing that harmony often requires flexibility and cooperation. By choosing compromise, we show not only that we value the other person's perspective, but that we are committed to the relationship's long-term health. Stoicism teaches us that strength isn't about rigidly clinging to our own view or resisting change at all costs. It's about knowing when to hold firm in our principles and when to step back, reconsider, and allow space for others. Compromise is not a sign of weakness. It is an expression of maturity, wisdom, and emotional intelligence. When we compromise, we are not giving up. We are choosing a higher path of cooperation, understanding, and mutual respect. In every conflict, ask yourself, is being right the most important thing, or is it finding a solution that benefits both sides? The ability to compromise allows us to avoid unnecessary conflicts and opens the door to more productive and peaceful resolutions. It gives us the freedom to engage with others on a deeper level, where cooperation becomes the cornerstone of success. So the next time you find yourself in a disagreement, consider whether compromise is the smarter choice, not just for your own benefit, but for the greater good of everyone involved. 8. Seek external aid without shame. Have you ever hesitated to ask for help, thinking that doing so would make you seem weak or incapable? In Stoicism, seeking external aid is not a sign of weakness, but rather an expression of wisdom. The Stoics understood that life's challenges often demand collaboration, and relying solely on oneself is not always the most effective strategy. Recognizing when to seek help is an important aspect of self-mastery, and it reflects a deeper understanding of our limitations and strengths. Stoicism teaches us that no matter how independent or self-sufficient we may be, there will always be moments when we need support. In these moments, reaching out to others is not a form of surrender. It is a pragmatic and intelligent way to navigate the difficulties we face. Seeking help is not about admitting failure, but about using all available resources to overcome obstacles and achieve our goals. Even Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, relied on the counsel and assistance of others throughout his reign. He understood that leadership was not about solitary decision-making, but about gathering insights from trusted advisors and learning from the collective wisdom of his time. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius often reflects on the importance of seeking guidance, acknowledging that we all have our weaknesses and that wisdom comes from the collaboration and contributions of others. In today's world, many people equate independence with strength, often viewing asking for help as a sign of weakness. However, Stoicism encourages us to reframe this perspective. The Stoics believe that the truly strong individual is not one who acts in isolation, but one who recognizes when assistance is needed and is willing to seek it out. There is strength in humility, in recognizing that we cannot do everything on our own, and that by accepting help, we become more resilient and capable in the long run. This principle can be applied in many areas of life. In the workplace, for example, instead of struggling in silence or taking on too much, reaching out for support from colleagues or mentors can prevent burnout and improve the quality of work. In personal relationships, seeking help can be just as powerful, whether it's asking for advice, emotional support, or simply a listening ear. When we allow ourselves to lean on others, we strengthen the bonds we share with them and create a network of support that can help us through difficult times. Pride and ego often prevent us from asking for help, but Stoicism teaches that true strength lies in overcoming these barriers. By recognizing that we are all interconnected and that wisdom can be found through the help of others, we create a more compassionate and effective way of dealing with life's challenges. Seeking assistance does not diminish our value. It enhances it by allowing us to grow, learn, and progress with the support of those around us. Ultimately, Stoicism reminds us that independence should not be about isolating ourselves, but about knowing when to ask for help. There is no shame in relying on others for guidance, support, or strength. In fact, it is a powerful expression of emotional maturity and self-awareness. So the next time you face a challenge, remember that reaching out for assistance is not a sign of weakness, but a powerful step toward overcoming obstacles and achieving greater success. By embracing the wisdom of seeking external aid, you empower yourself to face the complexities of life with greater strength, clarity, and resilience. 9. Use humor wisely in conflict resolution. Humor, when applied thoughtfully, is one of the most powerful tools for resolving conflicts without resorting to direct confrontation. It's not about trivializing the issue or pretending the problem doesn't exist. Instead, it's about lightening the emotional load of the situation, allowing for clearer thinking and reducing the tension that often leads to escalation. In Stoicism, one of the key virtues is emotional control. The Stoics believe that we should aim to remain calm and rational, regardless of the external circumstances. Humor, in this sense, becomes a way to remain in control of our emotional responses, allowing us to approach difficult situations with a level head and a sense of perspective. When faced with conflict, our immediate reaction is often to react emotionally, whether that's frustration, anger, or a desire to win the argument. But humor, used wisely, allows us to step back from the heat of the moment, reducing the intensity of the emotions involved and creating space for more reasoned, effective communication. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, demonstrated this principle in his own leadership. Despite facing numerous threats to the Roman Empire, he maintained a calm demeanor and often used humor as a means to diffuse tense situations. While he did not mock the seriousness of the issues at hand, he used humor to remind himself and others not to take things too personally, helping to maintain a clear perspective. This helped him to respond more strategically rather than react impulsively. In modern life, humor can serve the same purpose. Think about a tense meeting at work, where voices are raised and frustration fills the room. Instead of continuing the escalation, a well-timed, lighthearted comment can break the tension and refocus the group's energy on finding a solution. Humor doesn't erase the issue, but it allows everyone to take a step back and regain composure. For instance, if two colleagues are at odds over a project and the conversation is becoming increasingly heated, a simple, self-deprecating joke about how everyone could use a coffee break can serve as a reminder that the team's goal is to collaborate, not to compete. A real-life example of this principle can be seen in any family gathering. When tensions run high over a disagreement, instead of letting things spiral into an argument, one might use humor to lighten the mood and shift the focus. A funny comment acknowledging the situation can take the edge off the confrontation, making everyone more receptive to discussion and resolution. Humor, when done right, allows us to diffuse conflict before it turns into something larger, promoting connection rather than division. Of course, humor must be used carefully and with respect. It should not belittle the seriousness of the issue or mock the individuals involved. Instead, it should be used as a tool to create understanding and mutual respect, not as a shield to avoid the issue. In Stoic thought, the aim is not to avoid conflict, but to handle it with grace and emotional intelligence. Humor should always align with the core Stoic principle of remaining calm, rational, and just, even in the midst of difficulty. Humor also has the effect of reminding us not to take ourselves too seriously. When we can laugh at the absurdity of a situation or the rigidity of our own positions, we release ourselves from the need to win every argument. This is key to maintaining inner peace, recognizing that being right is not always the goal, and that sometimes the best solution is to move beyond the conflict with dignity and humor. This practice fosters a calm strength that enables us to approach conflict with wisdom rather than aggression. In essence, using humor wisely is an essential Stoic skill. It allows us to disarm potential hostility, clear the emotional fog, and bring a fresh perspective to a challenging situation. Rather than reacting with anger or frustration, we respond with a sense of humor, keeping our minds sharp and our emotions in check. The next time you find yourself in a heated moment, try to introduce humor, not to deflect the issue, but to alleviate the tension and guide the situation toward a more constructive outcome. Patience is the silent armor of the wise, a virtue praised in Stoicism as both shield and weapon. In the heat of conflict, when emotions flare and tempers boil, patience is the calm harbor where clarity and strength reside. It allows you to see the bigger picture, to act with purpose, and to conquer without aggression. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Patience embodies this principle. When your enemy seeks to provoke you, their aim is often to force a rash reaction. By resisting this, you disarm them. They cannot manipulate a mind grounded in self-control. Imagine facing a colleague who publicly challenges your ideas, seeking to undermine your reputation. The natural reaction might be to respond defensively, matching their hostility. Yet the Stoic way encourages a different approach. Pause, observe, and wait. Let their words reveal more about their insecurities than your abilities. This silent endurance is not passivity, but deliberate action. It demonstrates mastery over yourself, which is more impactful than defeating others. Patience is also a strategy for long-term victory. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you allow time to temper a situation, you create room for reason to prevail over impulse. In negotiations, personal relationships, or workplace disputes, patience gives you the upper hand. It transforms heated debates into opportunities for dialogue, fostering solutions over divisions. To practice patience, begin with self-awareness. When provoked, acknowledge your emotions, but choose not to act on them immediately. Reflect on your values and desired outcome. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year, in a month, in a week? This perspective shifts your focus from momentary frustrations to long-term harmony. Master patience, and you master yourself. In doing so, you render your enemy powerless, for no external force can disturb a tranquil mind. This is the essence of Stoic victory, triumph through self-mastery. 10th Master of Patience. Patience is the silent armor of the wise, a virtue praised in Stoicism as both shield and weapon. In the heat of conflict, when emotions flare and tempers boil, patience is the calm harbor where clarity and strength reside. It allows you to see the bigger picture, to act with purpose, and to conquer without aggression. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Patience embodies this principle. When your enemy seeks to provoke you, their aim is often to force a rash reaction. By resisting this, you disarm them. They cannot manipulate a mind grounded in self-control. Imagine facing a colleague who publicly challenges your ideas, seeking to undermine your reputation. The natural reaction might be to respond defensively, matching their hostility. Yet the Stoic way encourages a different approach. Pause, observe, and wait. Let their words reveal more about their insecurities than your abilities. This silent endurance is not passivity, but deliberate action. It demonstrates mastery over yourself, which is more impactful than defeating others. Patience is also a strategy for long-term victory. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you allow time to temper a situation, you create room for reason to prevail over impulse. In negotiations, personal relationships, or workplace disputes, patience gives you the upper hand. It transforms heated debates into opportunities for dialogue, fostering solutions over divisions. To practice patience, begin with self-awareness. When provoked, acknowledge your emotions, but choose not to act on them immediately. Reflect on your values and desired outcome. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year? In a month? In a week? This perspective shifts your focus from momentary frustrations to long-term harmony. Master patience, and you master yourself. In doing so, you render your enemy powerless, for no external force can disturb a tranquil mind. This is the essence of Stoic victory, triumph through self-mastery. 11th, transform challenges into opportunities. In the crucible of conflict, the Stoic mindset teaches us to not merely endure challenges, but to transmute them into opportunities for growth. To destroy your enemy without fighting, embrace adversity as a tool for self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, profoundly observed, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When faced with opposition, pause and reflect. How can this challenge shape your character or sharpen your skills? Enemies, whether external or internal, become unwitting mentors. Their resistance compels you to develop resilience, refine your focus, and cultivate patience. Rather than viewing them as adversaries, perceive them as catalysts for personal evolution. Imagine a workplace rival who constantly challenges your ideas. While initial reactions might lean toward frustration, consider the Stoic approach. Instead of retaliating or retreating, engage with their critiques thoughtfully. Their opposition could illuminate blind spots in your reasoning or push you to articulate your vision more persuasively. In time, what seemed like an obstacle transforms into an opportunity for intellectual and emotional growth. Seneca reminds us, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. By meeting resistance with resolve, we not only neutralize its power over us, but also emerge stronger. This principle extends beyond personal conflict to broader life challenges. A failed project, a harsh criticism, or an unexpected setback, each carries within it the seed of progress, waiting for you to cultivate it. To apply this practice, start by reframing obstacles as exercises in Stoic discipline. Write down the challenge and ask, what lesson does this teach me? How can I use this to grow? By redirecting your focus from the problem to the potential, you harness the transformative power of adversity. In choosing growth over grievance, you turn enemies into allies, not through confrontation, but through your unshakable commitment to becoming better. In the words of Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Let every challenge, every conflict, fuel your journey toward excellence. 12th, forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful Stoic tools to defeat your enemies without ever having to fight them. At first glance, forgiveness might seem like a passive or even weak response, especially in a world that often values retaliation and revenge as signs of strength. However, in Stoicism, true strength is found not in the ability to harm others in return, but in the capacity to free ourselves from anger and resentment. Forgiveness does not mean condoning or excusing the wrongs that have been done to us. It doesn't require us to forget the harm caused or to allow the person who wronged us to escape the consequences of their actions. Rather, forgiveness is a conscious decision to let go of the emotional burden of resentment, which otherwise keeps us tied to the past and to our adversaries. By forgiving, we disarm the power our enemies have over us, removing their ability to continue influencing our emotional state and actions. In Stoic thought, anger and revenge are often more damaging to the person who harbors them than to the one who caused the harm in the first place. Seneca, a leading Stoic philosopher, famously said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." This perspective helps us understand that the desire for revenge or the burden of holding grudges only harms our own peace of mind. Stoicism teaches us that our emotional reactions are within our control, and by choosing forgiveness, we choose to regain control over our own peace and clarity. Take the example of a colleague who undermines you at work, spreading rumors or taking credit for your ideas. The initial impulse may be to retaliate, to make them feel the same hurt you have experienced. But Stoicism invites us to pause and reflect. Will this reaction restore your peace or create further conflict? By forgiving them, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace, you refuse to let their actions determine how you feel. This act of forgiveness not only liberates you from the grip of anger, but also demonstrates strength of character. Forgiveness, in this context, is an act of self-preservation. It is a way to free ourselves from the corrosive effects of bitterness and to move forward with our lives unburdened by past wrongs. This is the true Stoic path, to act with integrity and to remain steadfast in our values, even when others may attempt to disrupt our peace. When we forgive, we do not allow others' actions to dictate our emotional state or to cloud our judgment. In the broader sense, forgiving others is also a reminder of our shared humanity. The Stoics believe that all people are flawed and that, in many ways, we all act out of fear, ignorance, or misunderstanding. By recognizing this shared imperfection, we can cultivate empathy and understanding. Forgiveness is not about excusing the behavior, but acknowledging that the person who wronged us is also a person in need of growth and healing. Forgiveness does not mean becoming a doormat or tolerating harmful behavior. It means recognizing that, while we cannot control others, we can control how we respond to them. By forgiving, we preserve our own peace, and in doing so, we demonstrate the highest form of Stoic wisdom, mastering ourselves rather than attempting to control the actions of others. The next time you face an offense or betrayal, ask yourself, how would forgiveness change your response? Would it free you from the grip of anger? Would it allow you to move forward with greater clarity and strength? Forgiving doesn't diminish the harm done to you, but it does allow you to regain your power, not by fighting back, but by choosing peace. In Stoicism, the ultimate victory is not about defeating an opponent, but about mastering our own emotions and reactions. Forgiveness is the key to this mastery. It allows us to live in accordance with our highest values, free from the chains of resentment and anger. By embracing forgiveness, we not only release ourselves from past harm, but also cultivate the strength and tranquility needed to face future challenges with wisdom and grace. Act like nothing disturbs you anymore. In the modern world, filled with stress and turmoil, we often find ourselves caught in the whirlwind of negative emotions, anxiety, and sorrow. But did you know that more than 2,000 years ago, Stoic philosophers discovered golden principles to help people live peacefully and steadfastly, regardless of any challenge? Stoic philosophy teaches us that true strength does not come from controlling external circumstances, but from mastering our minds and emotions. When you learn to view obstacles as opportunities, stop enduring imaginary pains, and embrace the impermanence of life, you will find inner peace and unparalleled resilience. Are you willing to face the challenge and discover the true power that lies within you? Join me on a journey to explore these marvelous principles and learn how to act as if nothing can disturb you anymore. This is a philosophy, a key to unlocking the door to a happy and meaningful life. Prepare to change and become the strongest version of yourself. Number 1, view obstacles as opportunities. Imagine life as a journey filled with twists, turns, and obstacles. Can you see the opportunities for growth and development in each of these obstacles? Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." These words are not only a philosophy of life, but also a guiding principle, showing us that every challenge in life is a vital part of the journey towards self-improvement. To illustrate this, consider the life of Jesus, a model of overcoming hardship to bring light to humanity. Jesus not only endured betrayal and extreme pain, but also transformed these sufferings into opportunities to spread love and forgiveness. In his darkest moments, he taught us about the power of patience and forgiveness. He turned pain and death into symbols of hope and salvation. Here we see a parallel to Stoic philosophy, where adversity is not seen as punishment, but as an opportunity for inner growth. Ask yourself, the last time you faced a challenge, how did you react? Did you feel overwhelmed by it, or did you find a way to turn it into motivation to move forward? Stoic philosophy encourages us to look within and find the strength to transform obstacles into opportunities. This is how we not only survive, but live more robustly every day. Remember, every challenge you encounter is an opportunity for you to learn, grow, and become more resilient. As Marcus Aurelius said, obstacles are not your enemies. They are teachers, guiding you on how to overcome difficulties and find light even in the darkest moments. Embrace challenges with an open heart and a clear mind, and you will find that nothing can trouble you anymore. Number 2, don't suffer imaginary pains. Have you ever wondered if the worries and pains you feel are real, or if they are merely products of your imagination? Stoic philosophy teaches us that much of our pain does not come from real events, but from our imagination. Think back to times you worried about an exam, a meeting, or an important event. How often have we created terrible scenarios in our minds, only to realize that reality was not as bad as we imagined? Jesus also taught, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. This advice reminds us that we should not burden ourselves with things that haven't happened yet. Imagine a farmer, worried every day about the upcoming harvest, drought, pests, or crop failure. Does that fear help the crops grow better, or does it rob the farmer of joy and health? Think about how many times you have created unnecessary worries in your life. Do these imaginary pains provide any real value? When facing difficult situations, instead of worrying about things that haven't happened, we should focus on the present and address immediate problems. Worrying about the future only diminishes our ability to enjoy the present moment. Recall the last time you felt anxious about something and then realized it was all in your imagination. That sense of relief when you understand that nothing terrible happened is truly precious. Instead of letting imaginary pains control you, focus on what you can control. When you feel anxious or distressed, ask yourself, is this happening or is it just my imagination? Asking these questions helps you see more clearly and recognize that many fears are merely illusions. Have you ever wondered why we stubbornly cling to things that are not meant to last forever? This question leads us to an essential principle in Stoic philosophy, the acceptance of impermanence. Life is like a river, always flowing and never stopping. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This teaching reminds us that our perceptions can change, and we must accept change as a natural part of life. Impermanence is not only limited to external changes, but also includes the transformations within our minds and emotions. There are days when you feel joy, and there are days when you feel sorrow, and all these emotions are part of life. Jesus also taught us how to accept and face change. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. This means that we must seek strength from faith and knowledge to confront impermanence. Think about moments in your life when everything changed unexpectedly. It could be a loss, or it could be a success. How did you cope with those changes? Did you find yourself becoming stronger after overcoming difficulties? When we accept impermanence, we can find peace and learn to see every change as an opportunity for growth. Impermanence also gives us the chance to appreciate the present moments. When you realize that nothing lasts forever, you will cherish the moments with family, friends, and life experiences more. Ask yourself, can you accept change and find peace in understanding that everything is temporary? When you embrace impermanence, you begin to see life as lighter and more meaningful. We no longer fear loss or change, but instead live each moment fully with gratitude and love. In summary, accepting impermanence is not just a philosophy of life, but an art that helps us find serenity and joy in each day. Let Stoic philosophy and the teachings of Jesus guide you on this path. You will find peace and strength in your soul by accepting that everything changes, and it is this change that creates the wondrous beauty of life. Number 3, master the art of letting go. Our lives are often filled with situations beyond our control, loss, failure, and unforeseen challenges. However, what truly matters is how we react and handle these situations. Letting go does not mean shirking responsibility or indifference. It means recognizing our limits and not allowing things beyond our control to affect our happiness. Jesus also taught us about letting go and trusting in God. Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. This encourages us to place our trust and hope in higher powers, helping us free ourselves from unnecessary worries and burdens. When we cling to things we cannot change, we create suffering for ourselves. Think about a relationship that has ended, a job that was lost, or an opportunity that has passed. Do we need to carry these burdens with us, or can we let go to open ourselves up to new and better things? Consider a situation in your life where you became obsessed with something beyond your control. It could be a relationship that ended, an opportunity that passed, or a mistake from the past. Have you ever wondered if holding on to these things brings you happiness? Marcus Aurelius, in his work Meditations, wrote, "That which is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees." This reminds us that we are part of a whole, and we must learn to let go of what no longer serves our soul and the community around us. Practice the art of letting go by asking yourself, is this important? Is it within my control? If the answer is no, allow yourself to let go and focus on what you can control and improve. In doing so, you will find inner peace and true freedom. Mastering the art of letting go not only helps us face loss and change more easily, but also allows us to live a fuller life. Number 4, practice daily reflection. Have you ever stopped at the end of the day to reflect on what has happened, your actions, thoughts, and emotions? Daily reflection is a core principle in Stoic philosophy, helping us reassess ourselves, learn from experiences, and improve every day. Daily reflection helps us face our mistakes, recognize our strengths and weaknesses, and find ways to better ourselves. When we take time to reflect, we not only review what we have done, but also gain a deeper understanding of our nature, creating opportunities for change and growth. Imagine spending a few minutes each night writing in a journal, noting down what you experienced, what you did well, and what needs improvement. Here's a question for you. What did you do today to make progress? Is there anything you regret? And what will you do differently tomorrow? Jesus also encouraged us to reflect and pray daily. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. This teaching reminds us that through reflection and seeking, we will receive enlightenment and guidance. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor and Stoic philosopher, practiced daily reflection through his writings and meditations. He recorded his thoughts, struggles, and philosophies not only to admonish himself, but also to share with future generations. He constantly reminded us that reflection prepares our minds to face any challenge. When you practice daily reflection, you not only understand yourself better, but also build a resilient, patient, and compassionate spirit. You will find yourself becoming calmer and more clear-headed in decisions and actions. So what will you reflect on tonight? Let each day be not just an existence, but a step forward in your journey of self-improvement through constant reflection and learning. Stoic philosophy and the teachings of Jesus will always be a source of inspiration and guidance on your path to peace and perfection. We are halfway through today's lesson. Your participation is a great encouragement for us in our journey to bring the true values of Stoic philosophy to more people. So please like and share this video to spread these lessons to your family and friends, or leave a comment saying, "I cherish my life," if you are ready for the journey with the next 5 lessons. Number 5, cultivate inner peace. Inner peace is not a state we can achieve by chance. It is the result of conscious, continuous practice and reflection. Imagine someone facing major challenges in life, work pressure, family issues, or daily worries. How do they maintain inner peace? First, they need to recognize that while they cannot control everything that happens around them, they can control how they respond. Jesus taught, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This teaching encourages us to find strength and peace in faith and love. We cannot control our circumstances, but we can control our reactions. When we learn to view everything calmly and objectively, we will find true peace. Imagine a serene, clear lake deep in the forest. Though storms may come and cause ripples on the surface, the water remains pure and tranquil beneath. You can learn to keep your soul like that lake, peaceful amid the storms. Ask yourself, how can I find inner peace every day? One effective way is to take time for meditation, reflection, and prayer. When you spend time connecting with yourself and with God, you will feel a deep sense of peace in your soul. Try starting your day with a few minutes of meditation, focusing on your breath and letting go of worries. At the end of the day, take time to pray and reflect on what has happened, seeking guidance and peace from God. So what will you do today to nurture your inner peace? Number 6, develop resilience through adversity. Have you ever wondered why difficulties come our way? Are they merely temporary challenges, or are they truly opportunities for us to grow? Stoic philosophy asserts that resilience is developed through hardship, and each challenge is a stepping stone for us to become stronger and more steadfast. When facing adversity, we have two choices: either let it defeat us or use it as a tool to train ourselves. We are halfway through today's lesson. Your participation is a great encouragement for us in our journey to bring Stoic philosophy to more people. So please like and share this video to spread these valuable lessons to your family and friends. Or leave a comment saying, "I cherish my life," if you are ready for the journey with the next lessons. Number 7, do not let the small things disturb your peace of mind. Have you ever wondered whether the small things in life truly matter? Stoic philosophy teaches us that our anxieties and frustrations often arise from trivial matters. We must learn not to let small things disturb our minds and emotions. Think of the times when you felt upset by a careless comment, an inconvenient situation, or something minor that you couldn't change. Jesus taught us, life is more than food and the body more than clothing. This reminds us that life is not about material things or small worries. When we do not let small things control us, we will find greater peace and happiness. Think about a time when you allowed frustration to take over. You probably realized that when you calmed down and accepted the situation, the frustration faded away and you felt much lighter. Remember, not everything in life is within our control. What matters is not whether we can change a situation, but how we respond to it. We may not change the circumstances, but we can change how we face them. When you learn not to let small matters bother you, you will find life becomes much easier and lighter. Number 8, focus on the how, not the what. Have you ever wondered why sometimes you feel lost even though you know your goals? Stoic philosophy teaches us that what matters is not what we want to achieve, but how we approach and execute it. This principle emphasizes that actions and methods are the keys to success and inner peace. By understanding and applying this principle, you can shift your focus from outcomes to actions and process. When you focus on how you handle a situation, you gain control over your peace and well-being. This makes it easier to navigate through life's challenges without stress or anxiety. Think about a difficult situation in your life. Instead of worrying about the final result, you can focus on how you address and manage the situation calmly and rationally. Stoic philosophy reminds us that peace comes from how we respond to events, not from the events themselves. Let your peace come from within, from how you face and overcome challenges, rather than waiting for external outcomes. This will help you build a meaningful and peaceful life, unaffected by the fluctuations and worries of the world around you. Number 9, prioritize reason over emotion. Have you ever regretted making decisions in moments of uncontrolled emotion? Stoic philosophy encourages us to prioritize reason over emotion in all decisions, for reason brings calmness and clarity, while emotions often lead to impulsive actions and regret. In daily life, we often face situations that require careful consideration. When we allow reason to guide us, we can view situations more objectively and make better decisions. Think back to a time when you were angry and said or did something you later regretted. You may realize that if you had paused, thought more clearly, and let reason lead, the outcome could have been different. Jesus also taught us about self-restraint and wisdom in action. In the Bible, he says, "The wise man builds his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew. But the house did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock." This teaching encourages us to build our lives on the foundation of wisdom and reason, not on fleeting emotions. Imagine someone criticizing your work harshly. Your first instinct might be to react defensively. But what if you pause and consider whether the criticism holds any merit? What if you calmly ask for clarification and use the feedback to improve? When you prioritize reason, you turn potential conflicts into learning opportunities. Number 10, do not let small worries control your life. In life, we often face both large and small challenges, but it is our response to these challenges that determines the quality of our lives. Stoic philosophy advises us not to let unnecessary anxieties control our minds. Indeed, sometimes we worry about trivial things we cannot control, and these worries only increase the stress and anxiety in our lives. Jesus taught us, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. This teaching reminds us that each day has enough trouble of its own, and we need not add the weight of worries about things that haven't yet happened. Learn to live fully in the present. Face today's challenges with calmness and reason. When you learn to let go of unnecessary worries, life becomes more pleasant, and your soul finds greater peace. Ask yourself, do these worries bring any real value to your life? Are the things you worry about truly important? Or are they merely fleeting thoughts that cannot be controlled? When you realize that most worries are pointless, you will find the freedom to live a lighter life, free from the burdens of negative thoughts and emotions. Number 11, live in the present. In a world full of worries about the future, living in the present becomes an essential lesson. Stoic philosophy teaches us that what is past cannot be changed, and what is yet to come should not be feared. The key is to enjoy and cherish what we have in the present moment. Do not let thoughts of the future or the past rob you of the precious moments of life. Jesus also taught us, live for today. This teaching emphasizes the importance of living fully in each moment, not being distracted by past regrets or future anxieties. Focus on what you are doing right now and savor each moment that you have. This will help you reduce anxiety and bring peace to your soul. When you learn to live in the present, you will realize that life becomes clearer and more meaningful. Worries about the future or regrets about the past will no longer disturb your inner peace. Living in the present helps you appreciate the small, yet valuable things in life, and you will learn to cherish the simplest moments. Number 12, practice gratitude. One of the most important factors in finding inner peace is practicing gratitude. Stoic philosophy advises us to be grateful for what we have, rather than focusing on what we lack. Gratitude helps us recognize that, despite the challenges in life, there are always beautiful things around us. Jesus also taught, give thanks to the Lord for everything. This is not only a teaching of faith, but a reminder to us of the importance of gratitude. When we practice gratitude, we will feel joy and peace in every moment of life, whether small things or grand achievements. Take time to reflect on what you are grateful for in your life. It could be your loved ones, your health, or the opportunities you have had. When you realize the richness of life, you will feel happier and more fulfilled. Gratitude helps us view life from a positive perspective, and in doing so, you will see that life always brings valuable things. When you practice gratitude every day, you will find your soul becoming more open and joyful. Stoic philosophy and the teachings of Jesus will inspire you to find joy in all circumstances and lead you down the path to true peace and happiness. Number 13, do not let others decide your happiness. In life, we sometimes let the opinions and actions of others influence our emotions and decisions. Stoic philosophy teaches us that our happiness does not depend on external factors, but on our control and attitude toward every situation. We cannot control the actions of others, but we can control how we respond to them. Remember, true happiness comes from within, from contentment and inner peace. Jesus also taught us, if you love me, keep my commandments. This teaching reminds us that, in order to be happy, we must live according to the values and principles we believe in. No one but ourselves can decide whether we are happy. Control your emotions and actions, and do not let external factors disturb your peace. When you learn not to let others decide your happiness, you will find life becoming much easier and freer. You will realize that when you live according to your own strong principles, you will no longer feel dependent on what others think or do. Your inner peace will no longer be disturbed by outside influences. Number 14, accept what cannot be changed. In life, there are things we cannot change, and accepting this is a key aspect of Stoic philosophy. We must learn to accept what is beyond our control and focus on what we can change. Instead of facing difficulties or losses with anger or resentment, we should learn to accept them and find ways to overcome them with calmness and patience. Jesus taught, "Take heed of what you have, and do not look at what you do not have." This teaching reminds us that life is not always fair, but we can find peace when we accept what we have and be grateful for it. Instead of criticizing what we lack, we should focus on what we have and use it wisely. When you learn to accept what cannot be changed, you will no longer feel anger or disappointment in your heart. Peace will come when you realize that some things are beyond our control, and instead of complaining, we can find the strength to face these challenges. What matters is focusing on what we can do, rather than worrying about what we cannot change. In conclusion, accepting what cannot be changed is a crucial element in living peacefully and happily. When we no longer concern ourselves with what is outside our control, we will find the freedom and strength to live more fully, and life will become lighter and more meaningful than ever before.